Hello again, it's James here. Like I said earlier, I was going to have a little bit of a demonstration of how I light fires. This is going to be a real simplistic version. You bush crafters are going to probably pick holes in it, and you're welcome to. I can appreciate any criticism, helpful as long as it's helpful. So this is my idea of how to start a fire. I start out with the driest possible wood I can find. The drier the better. In this case here, I've got some scrap pieces of tulip, or as we say in America, poplar, that I split up into pencil-sized pieces, which you can see here, fairly small. Now this is an extremely dry wood since it has been kiln dried, but on a worst case scenario, if you're in the woods and you come across a downed tree of, let's say, wrist or under 150 mil, you can cut them into blanks about like this. Now this here is not something you'd put directly onto the thing to try to light it. I mean, there's no way you're going to light this shy of a couple gallons of fuel and a lot of scorched hair. So what you could do with this is you'd find that, and it would be damp on the outside from rain, moisture, whatever. If it's off the ground, better. If it's on the ground, as long as it's a recent fall or whatever, you should be okay. If you cut it into this size as a round and then split it up, you could split this easily with a decent axe or hatchet into pencil-sized pieces. And you know that the inside of this is going to be fairly dry, as long as it's not a green fall. It's, you know, it's fallen because of age. So now we'll get on to it, and I'll start showing you my setup. All right, be right back. This is my little firelighting kit, my primitive firelighting kit. One of them. It's the only one I've brought with me on this trip. Well, besides a Bic lighter. So if I open it up, it's a water resistant, I wouldn't call it waterproof, I wouldn't take a submerging, but it's a water resistant container. Some grass I've collected. It's reasonably dry. This is what they call kapok. Some people have told me it's cattail down, but I'm not sure about that because I've seen cattail down and it doesn't look quite the same to me. But it's a extremely flammable, fine tinder, sort of like cotton. Cotton balls would be great. You can carry cotton balls in your container. This is jute. I've taken some jute rope and just broken it up, cut it into, 100 mil pieces, 4-inch pieces, and just broken it up a bit. 2 steels. I've got a more of a flamboyant steel I bought from, I want to say Ben Orford, but I'm not for sure. This is the one that came with my Wilma kit. Whoop, and there my kapok and jute is going tumbling across the ground. It's just starting to rain here now again. We had a heck of a rain last night. So there's my 2 steels. Chunks of flint, amidao, which is a fungus. Now I'm not going to go into detail on a lot of this stuff. I'm going to leave it up to you to decide whether you want to do your own research on the internet as to where things come from, how it's made, and yada yada yada. There's some fine, I want to say it looks to me like it's probably long pine needles that have been dried really well. And a piece of split up pine that's got a lot of resin in it. To me, some of this stuff is kind of redundant and useless, but I carry it, you never know. And then down below there is hexamine tablets, solid fuel tablets that I use in an emergency, and a little piece of rubber band that if you light this, although there's not any of it left except for that piece, inner tube works great also. Once you get lit, you can light the inner tube and it'll burn whether it's raining or not. But now I'm going to show you more of the process. All right, so I'm going to hand you over to my wife, and she's going to hold the camera and try to do it. Now we're using a GoPro, which doesn't have the viewfinder in the back, so I apologize if things get missed because you can't actually tell what you're shooting. I'm hoping to remedy that pretty soon by getting the LED on the back of it. But here she is. Okay, so the first thing I do is I try to find a nice sharp piece of flint. Some of these are starting to get dull. I'm going to have to break them, make them a bit sharper again. But there you go. So you find yourself a nice sharp edge that'll still produce spark. Now, and this is amidal. Again, it's the fungus. You take your amidal, and this will take the lightest, weakest spark you can imagine. I'm going to break off a piece of it because we don't need a big chunk. There we go. You know, and you want to be frugal because this stuff is expensive if you buy it, and time consuming if you make it. So you see, you take your steel, you put your amidal on top of your flint, and you take your steel and you give it a strike. And if we go lucky, if we get lucky, you'll see the spark on the camera. There you go, you can see it there. So let me move this out of the way so I don't put a spark into my other tinder. And you just keep striking it until eventually that spark will land just about perfect. There it goes, there it goes. You can see it's starting to smoke now, so my amidal is now lit. Give a little bit of puff, and you can see that in the camera, I hope. Now I'm going to take my jute pile and my kapok, and I'm going to put that kapok just inside of there like that. Take my jute, wrap that around it. Now this is my last pile of jute, so I'm going to have to make up some more. And basically it's the same principle as your wood. You start out with smaller, lighter timber, you go up to heavier tinder, and then you build yourself a nice little nest of grass or straw. Now this grass, I've picked it recently, so it's still got some green stuff in there, but hopefully it'll be enough to go. Give it a little bit of a puff. Alright. So now I'm going to make myself a nice little egg, or nest. Egg. Start blowing that into. Away from me here. Nope, it's not want to cooperate here. I don't think I have my bundle quite tight enough for my kapok and jute. Just another little chunk of amidal, give myself a little bit more of a still got a small spark in there. It's not wanting to cooperate again. See, so sometimes it works, and oh, there we go. So I've used up all my jute. And like I said, I think part of it is because I was getting a lot of heat to begin with, but this grass is still a bit damp from all the rain we've been having. And again, there we go. There we go. Now we turn it upside down, let the flames start licking at it real good. Start getting our finger or pencil sized pieces. Now this is real dry. If this was other wood, I would say, you know, go to even smaller, you know, matchbook size pieces. Yep, there we go. It's going out. This will take now. I'm fairly confident. So there we go now. Let's just clean up some of this mess. We'll toss some of this stuff on there. Put a little bit more flame up there just to get rid of all the junk around here, kind of tidy up a bit. Alright, so now we've got the matchbook size, or the pencil size pieces going. And again, if you were using wood off the ground or whatever, or you know, wood you picked up, you would probably want to go to something even small as you know, stuff like that to begin with. Because what happens is you have to get the moisture out of the wood before it'll catch fire. And the thinner and smaller it is, the easier the moisture comes out of the wood. It'll take. Now that I know that this is dry, because it's been seasoned. There we go. Move this towards the center now. Again, getting your fire going with this. Now, once you're starting to get something like this going, now that this is going, you can start taking and putting slightly larger pieces on. Again, because this is dry, I can kind of skip. This is a skip from the pencil size to thumb, you know, to you know, between wrist and thumb. So you want to go from pencil size to finger size to thumb size to wrist size. Then once you get wrist size going pretty well, and you're getting, then you can start putting your quarters and rounds and stuff on. But because this is really dry, I can start skipping some of those processes. And now I'm confident that I'm getting enough of a fire going here that, shy of a downpour or burning myself, you're going to be okay. So that's me making my first fire on GoPro video. Hope you enjoy it, and please leave feedback. Take care.